today I'm going to show you how to make over your countertop. Doesn't matter what kind it is. It can be laminate. You can do this over granite if you would want to, but it takes zero artistic ability. It just takes the ability to be able to use a paint roller, and that's it. And you will get a brand new countertop in 2 days. So like any painting project, prep work is going to be key. When you order your kit that I'm going to talk about, it's the Daich coating Spreadstone. There you go, countertop finishing kit. They have lots of different colors, and it comes with an instruction manual and video, I think, and those kind of things. They'll give you some pieces of sandpaper that you're supposed to use to scuff the countertop. I have only used it the very first time I've used it, and I've now done 4 kitchens over the last 3 years. And I always use an orbital sander every time for every step of this, because it saves you a lot of time and work, and also I think it does a better job. So you want to clean your countertops with a degreaser first, wipe them down, and then you want to repair anything. We'll go through each thing step by step as we go, but you'll need like some lightweight spackle or quick dry. I mean, you want it to be fast, so either Bondo would work, something that you can sand in about 15 or 30 minutes. You want it to be able to move on to your job pretty quickly. So we're going to patch an area that has a hole in it, and then we're going to sand the entire thing down and then wipe it down again, and then we'll get started with the actual painting process. So this is a hole that needs to be patched, and I'm just using a little bit of patch and paint lightweight spackle, because you can sand it in 15 minutes. Just rub it a little bit over, just patch the hole, and I'll sand it, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so this is step 1, and it looks like paint. It's just a paint, and I'm just cutting in because of the way that this table's edge works. I'm going to cut in a little bit, and the first coat is just to get a little bit of a base coat down, and then the second coat will cover a little bit more. So be pretty light with the first coat. And you cut in your edges. Just apply like you would a normal paint. Now, it would have been smarter to tape off the sink area ahead of time, or things that you didn't want to get painted. But honestly, I have more issues getting the tape off afterwards, so I just edge as carefully as I can and wipe off anything that I get on the sink surround. Now, if I had my choice, I would always lift the sink up, have the sink out before I did this, but I've never been lucky enough for that to actually happen. That would make life a lot easier. Now, another thing about doing a regular kitchen sink is you will have a silicone, caulk right here, and so you will need to take that up. Use just a utility knife with a blade on it and scrape all of that silicone up, because this will not adhere to it and it will not look good. now we have 2 coats on here and we've let it dry for 30 minutes. This is an extra step that is not in the instructions. It's just something that I prefer because I like to have as smooth a surface to the feel as possible. So I use a very, very fine grit sandpaper. I think this one's 320, so it's really, really fine. And I'm just doing a very light sanding over the surface. And it's just to take down the roughness of the paint to make it a very nice, smooth surface, because you will notice a roughness in it if you choose not to sand it all. I mean, it's not like it would hurt you, but I just like it to be as smooth as possible. So this is a very quick, light sand over everything. Vacuum the dust up, and then wipe it down, and then we're ready to put the stone coat on. Okay, now that both of the base coats have dried, now it's time to actually put the stone coating on. And this is the product that will end up making your countertop look beautiful. So it's step 2. Now when you mix it up, it is very thick. It is like a milkshake. So you need to keep stirring it as you're applying it. You want to reach from the bottom to keep the stone mixture nice and mixed. Then just apply it just like we did the 2 base coats. It does not look pretty yet. That is okay. I promise it will not look like this after we've sanded it. And as you're going, you want to keep smushing the stone particles around to fill in any areas that may not be as thick as you'd like. Or pull it out if it's too thick in an area. And you would much rather have it be too thin than too thick, because when this stuff sets up, it is hard as a rock, and you'll be sanding forever. Now in the past, around the edges, I have been too thin, so when I sanded, I actually sanded back down to the base coat. So go a little bit thicker around the edge. This particular product has a very long dry time, or a longer dry time, so you can go back and mess with it a little bit if you need to. Whereas the base coat's dry time was very quick. Okay, when you roll from the bottom of your tray up. Keep the stone mixture moving. Okay, the first coat of stone coat has had about an hour to dry, and now I'm going to put the second coat on and cover any areas that didn't quite get all the way covered the first time through. Don't be afraid to go back over and really work on an area if you don't like how much stone is in the area or it doesn't have enough. Don't be afraid. Work it until you're happy with it. You want to make sure that you are using kind of a zigzag pattern, because you don't want the stone to end up in a line. That looks a little odd. is the stage where the magic happens. This is where we're going to sand the top down, and it'll reveal all these little pieces of stone that are in here that'll make it look like granite. Now I'm starting with an 80 grit on my sander, and I just sand until it's the desired smoothness that I want. So put your mask on, and then something that they don't tell you in the video is that when I'm sanding like this, I vacuum at the exact same time that I am sanding, or else this dust gets everywhere. It will be on every surface in your kitchen, it will be all over the house, so I vacuum at the same time that I'm sanding. So one of the places that you will have an issue with over sanding and accidentally taking too much off is on corners and edges. So this, because it's a camper, it's got weird edges, and I'm gonna have to hand sand those anyway. But if you've got laminate, and you've got that curved edge, it's right there. You're gonna have to be careful when you're sanding, and it's honestly a good idea just to take. I know this is sandpaper used for an orbital sander, but it's what I have. So take your piece of sandpaper, go over the edge, and just do it very lightly, or else you could have some issues with, accidentally taking too much off and getting back down to your base coat. So with here, I'm just doing the very edge by hand to reveal it. The thing is, if you accidentally take too much off of an edge, just get some of this stone coating on your finger, dab it on, let it dry, and continue on. It's not a huge deal. I did not give it the full 24-hour cure again. When that's happened to me in the past, I just went ahead and went on with it. So edges, be careful with your edges. And if you've got a spot that does that, because some of these little flakes, I swear, they kind of melt a little bit, wipe it up immediately, because I have a spot on one of the houses that I didn't, and it's always bugged me. Okay. Here's an area I sanded a little too hard on, so I'm just taking a little bit of the stone material. I got a little aggressive with this edge. And just dab it right on. Let it dry for a little bit, sand down, and we're good to go. Once you finish sanding with the 80 grit, go back over it with 120 grit, and then wipe all the surfaces down really good. Vacuum them, wipe them down, get rid of all the dust, and then let's put on the clear coat. So when applying a clear coat, I usually use a source of light to help me get it on exactly right. Like here, the window, I can see where it has gotten. Or I have used this solitary light, because clear coats can be tricky for me. I can miss spots unless I use a consistent source of light to show me where I've gotten it on. And this will be the easiest part. You just don't want to let it pool anywhere. You don't want to roll back over it too much, but a little bit is okay at the beginning. Now this really makes the sparkly bits in the stone coating show up. So after 4 hours, you can put your second coat of clear coat on. And something I didn't mention with the first one is, if you miss a spot and then you see it when you're looking again later, just let it be. You will get it the next time around. Do not go messing around. Once you've left an area, don't go back to it with this clear coat, because it'll end up being a little gunky or leaving an air bubble in it. So put your second coat on and you are good to go. You do not have to sand between the clear coats. I don't, unless you would go a long time between doing your first and second. I actually put a third on a lot of times, especially because this is a camper that little kids are going to be using. So I'll probably do 3 coats as well. but only if you go in a long time in between will you need to maybe sand it down or re-wipe it down and make sure that there's no dust particles in the finish. And you should be done.
So this is what the finished product looks like. And it feels smooth to the touch, but it will always have that slightly textured look to it, just from that clear coat.